Hello, welcome to another vlog. Not week's reading vlog, because it's Readathon. It is just 1 minute to midnight. I woke up at about 1:45, I've got myself dressed, brushed my teeth, etc. And I am ready to go. So, Readathon is my 24-hour readathon, if you're unfamiliar. This is round 4 of this thing. I can't believe I've done it will have done it 4 times now. Quite insane. And this is going to be the last one for a little while, I think. I have kind of been doing them monthly-ish, but I think this might be the last one for a little while, so fingers crossed it goes well. Woo! But it's just gone midnight, which means Readathon has started for me, so it is the 24 hours of the 22nd, Saturday the 22nd of August, midnight to midnight. In your time zone, in my time zone, whatever it was for this, you're probably familiar with the concept. But I am kicking this off with Shadow Black. This is the second book in the Spellslinger series by Sebastien de Castell, who is one of my favourite authors. It's smaller than the first one, but I am buddy reading this series with Molly from Mind of Molly very slowly, because this is only the second book. And I'm taking this opportunity to read them all audibly, because I read them all physically the first time, and I want to own all of them on Audible. So I'm taking our buddy read as an opportunity to gradually own them all. So that's what I'm doing. I've got it downloaded on Audible, ready to go. Got my headphones here. I had a nap before this started, so I was like well prepared and was using my AirPods for ASMR, and they died. So I have the inconvenience of wires this time. Oh, such a problem. It's midnight, so I'm gonna get going with this and we'll tell you more as I go. It's probably gonna be 5 stars because it is a reread for me. I know that I love this. I know that Sebastien de Castell is one of my favourite authors, and I know that I love his writing style. It's a series that I've kind of been yelling at people a lot to read. So this is probably not the first time you will have heard me talk about the Spellslinger series. That's this introduced. I am, as always, going to be trying to stay up for the full 24 hours, hence the nap beforehand. I should probably... Can you even see that? 2 minutes past. I should probably get started. So I will catch up with you in a bit, because as I normally do with Readathon, I've kicked this off with an hour sprint that I'm 2 minutes late for myself. So I will see you plenty throughout today. Hello, I have put a little bit of a face on since we last spoke, just some brows, bit of liner, bit of something to feel a bit more alive. But it is 1:25 in the morning and I have made a decent dent in Shadow Black. I am 108 pages in, I'm up to chapter 17. And every time I go into these books, I just realise how much I miss Kellen and Ferius and Rikis, right? I said this when I reread Spellslinger audibly. I pronounced Rikis in my head when I read them physically as Reachies, and I can't get out of that, and every time that his name is said in the audiobook, it's Rikis, and in my mind, it's Reachies. I don't know why I did that, but that's just how I read it. But yeah, every time I go back into one of these books, I just remember how much I love them all and missed it, and it's so great. And we're like right into the story of this. We've met the character that propels this story. Yeah, I don't want to say too much because obviously it's the second book in the series and I don't want to spoil anything, but this one's all about the Shadow Black, if you'd believe it. I love these books. These hardcover editions as well are just so beautiful. So beautiful. I'm gonna continue listening and reading this, but I'm a little bit peckish, so I think it's time for a little bit of a snack and an energy drink just to perk me up. Sounds like a good plan. And hello again. I literally haven't moved. But it is 2:55 in the morning now. Can you see the clock up there? There you go. 2:55 in the morning. Sorry if I'm a little bit quiet. Jake's asleep upstairs. He's got to get up early because he's going out with a friend to view a car for his friend. So I need to get him up early, but I don't want to disrupt his sleep. But yeah, 2:55. I'm doing an Instagram live at 3 with Molly. but made a lot of progress in Shadow Black, considering it's been about 3 hours and I'm 225 pages into this. It's going pretty well, so I will definitely finish this at a very reasonable time, but because I'm listening to the audiobook of this one, I can't listen to that whilst I'm on the Instagram Live, so I have decided that I'm going to read the Jumbies, which is the middle grade monthly pick for the month, and our live show is going to be on Saturday the 30th of August, Sunday the 30th of August, sorry, so not tomorrow, but next Sunday. So I need to read it for that, and I need a physical read whilst on the live, so that's exciting. The Jumbies sounds really intriguing and dark. I think it's about a young girl who's told stories of these like dark creatures that lurk out in the forest called the Jumbies, but they're kind of presented as a children's story to scare them, like they're not actually real, and then something happens and our main character discovers that they may actually be real. But truth be told, I don't know too much about it. I've just heard very good things about it from everyone reading it for Middle Grade Monthly. Lots of people have been really enjoying it, so I'm very excited to dive into it myself. And I'm gonna read it whilst we're on that live. So yeah, 3 hours in, going very strong, feeling very optimistic. I've got party rings, of course I've got party rings as my snack of choice, and energy drink as my fuel of choice. So yeah, going well. I will check in with you later on. Hello. I should probably move at some point so you don't just have tons of clips in exactly the same spot. But the new sofa's so comfy. It's like real cozy here right now. But it is 10 to 6 in the morning and I have finished Shadow Black. I loved this. I love this book. There were definitely things that I had forgotten about it. Like I had forgotten all about the crocodile. And there were a few bits in this that really made me laugh, but it's always like that with Sebastian de Castell's books. Like, it's brutal and there's a lot of fighting and there's a lot at risk and it's very politically driven. But also there's just little funny moments, like Rykus, the squirrel cat that I call Reachies, he just comes out with the most ridiculous things, and this is the book in which he is introduced to bathtubs and butter biscuits for the first time, which pretty much shapes his entire personality for the rest of the series. Is he's just obsessed with bathtubs and butter biscuits. And I had forgotten that this is where he first experienced those. And the hat! I can't say too much because I don't want to spoil anything, but this is also where Kellen gets his hat. So yeah, I had a great time. I haven't put it through Core Pile, but it's a Sebastian de Castell book, so 5 stars? I love the series. If you haven't read Spellslinger yet, and you're watching me, how? How have you come this far watching me and not reading Spellslinger? I just don't quite understand how that comes to be. But you should, because it's great, and I recommend. So yeah, I had a fabulous time with that. Reread of book 2 done. I have no idea when me and Molly will get to book 3, but book 2 done. Which means I'm going to get back to reading the Jumbies, which I'm reading on my iPad because I couldn't get hold of a physical copy, so the e-copy will have to do me. I'm still working my way through this can of Monster that's lasted me until nearly 6 AM. Surprising. And like the sun is up. It's not quite daylight, but you know, dawn. Dawn is upon us. I can hear seagulls about. So yeah, the world is starting to wake up. I'm really looking forward to doing breakfast because I'm doing breakfast muffins. Like we got, you know, I'm doing like a homemade McDonald's breakfast, you know, like we got the sausage patty things. I'm gonna do some scrambled flat eggs and we got breakfast muffins. So I'm gonna do like my own sausage and egg muffin. And I'm excited about it because it's probably gonna be delicious. But I won't do that for a little while yet because Jake's not gonna be getting up until 8. But yeah, I'm gonna get on with reading the Jumbies. And I mean, I did just say I should probably move, but I'm cozy right now. Maybe I'll move later in the day. Like, I'm doing alright here. Hello! Good morning! I mean, I haven't slept, but like, now that it's 8 AM, I feel like it's an appropriate time to say good morning rather than it's the middle of the night. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just got 8 AM. I'm on chapter 27 of the Jumbies, which is page 150. So I am well over halfway through that and should finish that within the next couple of hours for sure. So my plan is to make breakfast. I think I already mentioned at some point in the middle of the night that I'm going to make like a home sausage and egg McMuffin, which I suppose is just a sausage and egg muffin, but you know, breakfast muffin. Wow, would the sun like to make me look any more like a ghost? It's a really sunny morning. Like, I've been sitting here on the sofa and the sun's been like peeking through the window, like stabbing me in the eye. I'm gonna go and make them. So the sausages are in the oven. Gonna make some eggs, toast some muffins, have a cup of tea. I still haven't finished this can of Monster, so I'm gonna do that as well. And try and read a little bit of the Jumbies like whilst I'm doing that, but you know, frying eggs requires attention. But yeah, I'm enjoying the Jumbies. I'm enjoying it more now than I was, say, up to the 100-page mark. The way the kids interacted with each other up to the 100-ish page mark, I was really confused. I couldn't wrap my head around if they were friends or not with the way they were talking to each other. And I get that perhaps that's just how some kids play, like they pick on each other, but like I couldn't understand if they were supposed to be friends or not. But now I'm at the 150-page mark, I'm definitely sure that they are supposed to be friends. And don't get me wrong, like they still bicker, but it's now more like friendly bickering. Whereas at the beginning, like they were taking the mick out of the boys for not having parents. I'm like, that's not something you'd take the mick out of someone for. I don't know if this is friendly banter. This doesn't feel like friendly banter. This feels like bullying. But they seem to be friends now, so we'll see how the rest of it goes. The Jumbies, like the actual Jumbies characters, are really fascinating. It's got to kind of action-ish points, so I think the rest of this book, like I've got 85-ish pages left. So I think it's going to be an action-packed 85 pages, and I'm interested to see how it's going to wrap up. But yeah, I'm enjoying it enough. It's feeling kind of 3 stars-ish to me though, like I'm not massively invested. It's fascinating, it's interesting, it's definitely got that kind of darker vibe to it, but we'll see. I'll finish it before I jump to conclusions because it is only a small book. So 150 pages is nearly finished, but also like I feel like I can't judge it too much in 150 pages. I need to have the full story. Anyway, I'm gonna go and cook eggs.
I think my homemade sausage and egg McMuffin looks pretty good. Nice.
The Jumbies! Yeah! It's 10 to 10 and I'm 2 books down. I don't know what that page count is, I haven't worked it out and put it into my spreadsheet, but I'm going to do that now and put it through Corepile because I don't know if it's going to come out at a 3 or a 4 star. I really liked in that like last 100-page section how it was written, like the tension was really high and like it definitely felt dangerous. But I didn't have any sort of emotional connection to the characters. I don't feel like our relationships with them were established enough for me to care for them, but the plot was definitely like action-packed and the tension was there and it was really well paced. So I don't know if it's going to come out at a 3 or a 4, so I'm going to have a think about that, pop it through core pile, and then come back to you very shortly. So it turns out I've read 581 pages so far today, which is pretty good. I've popped the Jumbies through core pile, which is the rating system that I use, created by Book Roast. If you search on her channel for core pile, then you'll be able to find it. Maybe I'll just link it down below. I'll just link it down below, the video where you can download the spreadsheet and she explains it all, because I use core pile to rate things and someone's bound to ask. But I've popped it through core pile. I gave it a 6 for characters. Like, they weren't bad, but I definitely don't feel like our relationships with them were established enough. I didn't feel connected to them. I don't think we knew enough about them. The brothers, I don't think were especially different. Quite often I found myself forgetting which one's which. Like, I knew who the boys were, but like which one was the older brother, which one was the younger brother, kept escaping my mind. Atmosphere, I gave it an 8. Atmosphere I definitely think is the highest aspect of this book. It's the highest score I've given throughout core pile. It did feel dangerous and I liked that vibe. Like, even from the beginning when they're just talking about the Jumbies, the atmosphere is very strong. And the coastal atmosphere and the like dark forest atmosphere and the village atmosphere, like, it has got aspects of all of that, and I do think that that comes through very strongly. Writing I gave a 7, plot I gave a 7, and intrigue I gave a 7. Those 3 things I tend to clump together very often. I think it was good. The writing was good, the plot was good, the intrigue was good, and I feel like 7 is a good score. Like, not bad, not average, not great, good. It was good. Logic I gave it a 6. There were a couple of moments where I was a bit like, no one would actually do that. Like, no one would do that. It's also a fantasy story, so I'm not rating the logic down in that regard, but just like the way some of the adults behaved was a bit like meh. And also, as I said about the kids, kind of their friendship slash not friendship slash bordering bullying and the way they just spoke to each other sometimes kind of threw me out of the story a bit, because I was like, you wouldn't do that. But like, is that just how kids play? Anyway, I gave it a 6 for logic. And then overall I gave it a 7 for enjoyment, so good. And that does come out at a high 3-star. When I say high 3-star, I mean if any one of those scores was 1 point higher, then it would have been a 4. So it's a very high 3-star. And yeah, I guess that feels about right for me with this book. I am really disappointed though, because so many people were really excited about this book, and so many people like on the Middle Grade Monthly Twitter were saying it's like the best one we've picked so far, really enjoyed it, 5 stars, absolutely fantastic. And I guess I expected it to be something it wasn't, unfortunately. But that is by no means saying it's bad. It was not a bad story, it's just I think my expectations were way too high because of that. But a very high 3-star rating. It's a good book. Yeah, cool. Right, so I now need to pick out my 3rd, and I think I'm gonna try and read something off NetGalley. Yeah, because I have got The Castle of Tangled Magic. Ta-da! Downloading off the NetGalley app. Doesn't show us the book cover, but trust me, this is The Castle of Tangled Magic by Sophie Anderson. I think this one comes out in October? 1st of October this one comes out, yeah. And I was very lucky to get a e-arc on NetGalley, and I'm very excited to read this. Sophie Anderson is the author of The House with Chicken Legs and The Girl Who Speaks Bear, which are 2 of my favourite middle grade books, and I'm very excited to read the 3rd book in that, like, folklore series that she's got going on. So, I'm gonna get going with that. It does mean that I'm reading another ebook though, so my like stack of books at the end is not gonna be very impressive because ebooks. But yeah, I need to read it because it's on NetGalley. I've got to get my review done and I'm very excited about it. So that's the plan. I don't know how many pages this is, and the NetGalley app doesn't tell you. So I'm just gonna go forth and read this. I said I was gonna move at some point today and I still haven't. Like I've got up throughout the day. I haven't just sat here, but I've sat here to do all of my reading. I put some lipstick on to make myself feel a bit more alive and some mascara, but now my lips just feel weird, so I think I might take that off. But in other news, it's just gone 1 o'clock. We've just done another massive sprint on Twitter. It's all going very well. And I am 172 pages into the Castle of Tangled Magic, and I love it. It's Sophie Anderson though, so I didn't think I wouldn't. House with Chicken Legs and The Girl Who Speaks Bear have both been like 5-star reads for me, so I see no reason why this wouldn't be, and I'm loving it. So I'm a little bit under halfway, but about halfway through this book, and I'm having such a good time. It's about a young girl called Olia who is not a princess, but her family used to be royalty, and she lives in this like massive wooden castle. But her family aren't like kings and queens anymore, but she is the descendant of royalty. And there is this like magical seeming storm that is happening and threatening to rip the castle apart. And her grandmother kind of gives her all these cryptic messages about how she can fix this. And it's something to do with magic, and she has to find the magic in the castle to save the castle and her family. It's very Sophie Anderson, but it's a Sophie Anderson book, so it would be. It's got that like really high like sense of morals. Our main character wants to do what is best by everybody, and along the way on her journey she's gathering like a found family. Or in The Girl Who Speaks Bear, the way it's described there is that the main character finds her own herd, and it's kind of like a similar thing here. Along the journey she's meeting new characters and she wants to do what's best for all of them, and she like builds a team. Do you know what I mean? Like she becomes close to them and wants to help them and brings them along on her journey. It's that same sort of thing where she wants to prove that people can be good and people can be nice, and she wants to help everybody and save everything. But also it's just so atmospheric. But again, it's Sophie Anderson, I didn't expect anything else. But yeah, whimsical, magical, beautifully written, loving the characters. I am having a really good time reading it. And also it's a quick read, like I'm 172 pages in already. This is my third read of the day and it's only 1 o'clock. I'm excited to continue. I've got another Instagram live happening at 2 o'clock, so I've got a little bit less than an hour to just continue, and pretty much that's what I plan on doing after I've got this lipstick off, because my lips feel horrible. I feel like I can't do like reading montages when I'm on my iPad because they're really boring to watch because it's just me going. At least with like page flipping, it's visually pleasing. Me tapping an iPad screen is not visually pleasing the way that page flicking is. But yeah, I will check in with you a little bit later on. I just wanted to let you know how I was getting on and how much I'm loving it. Hello, look at me in a different location. I've come up to the library. But I have finished Castle of Tangled Magic. I actually finished it probably about half hour ago, maybe. But because it was a NetGalley arc, I've just sat and written out my review. So that's up on Goodreads and reviewed on NetGalley, etc. All good things. So probably goes without saying that Castle of Tangled Magic got 5 stars from me. I absolutely adored it, and I think it is quite possibly my favourite Sophie Anderson book so far. I loved The House with Chicken Legs. I loved The Girl Who Speaks Bear. They are two of my favourite middle grade reads. Absolutely adore them. We all know that I love Russian folklore, Slavic folklore, inspired fantasy retelling things, and it's what Sophie Anderson does so well, and I adored this in so many ways. It had so many of the spirits that are featured in Slavic folklore, like all of the household spirits, the forest spirits, the water spirits, all of the things. It was just so beautiful. The atmosphere was beautiful, the settings were beautiful. It's just so mystical and magical and adventurous and gorgeous, and I love it. I can't recommend Sophie Anderson enough. I think readers of all ages can enjoy Sophie Anderson. It's beautiful. If you like that Russian Slavic folklore vibe, then you cannot go wrong with it. It's absolutely gorgeous. So absolutely 5 stars for that one. Give it a 10 for characters, 10 for atmosphere, 10 for writing, 9 for plot, 9 for intrigue, 9 for logic, and 10 for enjoyment, which gives it a 9.57 overall. Amazing! I loved it very much. My page count for the day is already at 997. And it's only now 6 o'clock, so I have time. And what I'm going to read next is the story of Babushka by Catherine Flores. This was sent to me by the author to review. I'm also part of a giveaway tour for it, so there will be a giveaway for a copy of this book on my Twitter on the 29th, I think. So follow me on Twitter to see that, but I haven't read it yet. When I hauled this, a few people pointed out to me, and I am very aware of it, that Babushka is the Russian word for grandmother. And this is the story of Babushka, and from what I know of it, it's the story of Russian nesting dolls, which is not what Babushka means. Babushka is grandmother. So going into it knowing that, I'm wondering if maybe the character that the Russian nesting doll plays is a grandmother character, which is why it's titled this. But people did point out to me that the proper word for Russian nesting dolls is matryoshka, I think. Not babushka. So it should be matryoshka. Sorry about my pronunciation. Not Russian, but I think it's matryoshka. So I don't know if it should be titled The Story of Matryoshka, or if the character is a grandmother character. I don't know. I will learn this from reading it, and that is what I'm now going to do, and then I will have to review this one as well. I don't know how many pages this is, but it's a little one, and it is a kid's book as well, so, you know, big font. But yeah, I'm gonna read this for a bit and see what I make of it, and I mean, I don't anticipate this taking me 6 hours to read, to be totally honest with you, so we'll see what happens after that. But I'm having a really good day, and I'm still not flagging. Like, I mean, I have got, this is my 3rd energy drink of the day. Not a Monster, I've only had 1 Monster and then a couple of cheaper Blue Sparks. Sometimes a cheap energy drink just hits a little different, you know? But yeah, I'm gonna go and sit on the sofa again because it's really hot in here. And read this. So, I'll chat to you later. Hello and welcome to like 2 hours later. I finished the story of Babushka by Catherine Flores, and it was an enjoyable reading experience. It's definitely a younger reader book, younger than what I would normally read. It's definitely a children's book, not a middle grade book, which is what I would normally go for. So it's not my normal age category, so I wasn't entirely sure how to rate it, so I may have rated it a little bit generously. But I do think it was a very simply but beautifully told story about the Matryoshka doll, and it does address that. Literally in the first sentence of this book it says the Matryoshka called Babushka. So her name is Babushka, but it addresses that she's a Matryoshka doll. So it does address that differentiation, and it's not implying that the doll is a Babushka doll. So I don't think the title is necessarily a concern. as that's the name of the doll, not the noun for the doll. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not saying the doll is a babushka, it's saying this doll is named Babushka. Do you know what I mean? But pretty much this is a children's morals story. And it's told with the 5 bodies of this doll representing different aspects of her personality. So the outer shell is beauty, and then we have wealth, wisdom, talent, and love. And each body of Babushka wants to find the meaning of life, and they all go out on a hunt for the meaning of life and what they think their purpose is. So the beautiful doll wants to find love because she's beautiful, the talented one wants to work, and the wise one wants to create ideas and such. So they each go on a journey for what they think will fulfill their purpose and make them happy and be their meaning of life. But essentially it's saying that when you separate these things out and address each of them individually, you're not going to be fulfilled because you need all of these things as one. So the only way Babushka will find happiness is to be united as one with her multi-layered personality. I think it's a very good message. I liked what it was getting at towards the end. It's saying, like, you can't just have your wealth, you can't just have your beauty, you need to have your multi-layered personality and you be united in yourself to be happy. And I did like that message, it was nice. The illustrations throughout are beautiful, they're bold, they're bright, they're colourful, and I think for a younger reader, like, it's really gonna captivate their attention because they are, as I say, big colourful illustrations. So for a younger reading experience, I think that's fab. Overall, I gave it 4 stars. As I say, I'm not sure if I'm rating a bit generously, perhaps because it's not my usual age range. But yeah, it was an enjoyable reading experience. I don't think I would ever reread it. It's not for me. But rating it for the target audience, I think it does a good job, and it tells that, like, moral story very effectively. So yeah, 4 stars for this. It is, however, only 8 o'clock. I still have time and I've now read 4 books. And none of them have been graphic novels. Like, I've read 3, like, proper books. And then 1 children's book, but it wasn't, even then, you know, they're proper, like, pages of text. So, yeah, I've managed 4 books and I don't know what to do next. I might go for a graphic novel. I might try and work out a couple of graphic novels. We'll see. I haven't yet decided. I'll probably come back to you once I've decided and read something, because I really don't know. But I do just want to address that this is now my most successful Readathon to date. It will be my most successful book-wise and page-wise. Previously, my most successful was 1,092 pages. And I have now gone over 1,100. Let me give you an exact count. I'm on 1,107. So, officially my most successful Readathon, and it's only 8 o'clock. So, I'm probably gonna pick one of these. Oh, maybe I should read Adventure Zone. That one's supposed to be fun. Yeah, I'm gonna read this. I've made that choice already. Cool. I'm gonna go and hang out on the sofa and read this. It's really heavy for such a small book. I've had this one since Christmas. I think G got it for me for Christmas. And it's D&D, like, based. I think it's based on a podcast where they play D&D and they've turned it into a graphic novel, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna read this because it looks like fun. Sweet. I will chat to you a bit later on. Hi! It's 11:30 and dudes, I'm done. I'm done. I can't read anymore. So I told you I was going away to read The Adventure Zone. I did. I liked this, but I didn't love it. Like, I wanted to love it. I thought it was going to be a lot funnier than it was. I thought it was supposed to be more humorous, but I don't know if I got that wrong. Oh no. Fun, hilarious, and smart. I just didn't find it that funny. It was a good adventure story. I was intrigued. I yeah, but it came out at 3 stars overall on Corpile. I am pretty sure I gave it like 6s mostly. 6s, couple of 5s, couple of 7s across on Corpile. I don't think I will continue this series, honestly. I don't think it's for me. I just didn't find it funny. And I wanted to, but I didn't. But I did read it. And it's a chunkier comic. Like, it's really heavy. I think it's like nearly 300 pages. Oh no, 240-ish pages. So got that down. 3 stars, wasn't bad, but just wasn't for me, I don't think, but came out at a 3-star overall. So there's that. And then because I still had time left, I thought I'll squeeze another comic in because I've got time. So I read Lumberjanes Volume 13. I don't know what's up with Lumberjanes. Like, the last few volumes of this have just not been up to standard, in my opinion. They seem to just be getting slimmer and slimmer, despite the fact that apparently they're all 112 pages. It just seems like there's almost no content in these anymore. I don't know. But they were playing board games, or a couple of them were playing board games and a couple of them were being chased by giant bugs. Ta-da! I mean, it came out at 3-star on Corpile. It definitely wasn't my least favourite. The one before this, volume... what would that be? 12? Was it volume 12 or volume 11? No, volume 12 with the jackalope, and then the random chapter that was to do with the camp newspaper. That one was more pants. But this one did come out at 3 stars. And the thing is, I'm attached to these characters, and I want to know what happens to these characters. I just want more. Like, the first... I don't know, I'd say like the first 9, I think after it's hit like double digits, it's gone downhill. But I am connected to these characters. I care about what happens to them. So will I continue to read Lumberjanes? Probably. Also, it is just a bit of light-hearted fun when you want a quick read. But I need to stop expecting more from it because it's not more. So yeah, I managed to read a couple of comic things, which actually takes my total number of reads up to 6 reads today. And I mean, wow. If it was like 1 book and 5 comics, okay. But it wasn't. It's been 3 like actual novels, 2 comics, or 1 comic, 1 graphic novel, whatever you want to classify these as, and then 1 children's book. Wow. So I've read a lot today, and it hasn't even taken me like up to midnight, and I've wasted a fair bit of time today, I'll tell you that. So I've crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. My page count is, I've already told you, it's the best I've ever done, and it's now even more because I've added these comics onto it. But my total page count for Readathon round 4 is 1,475 pages in 24 hours across 6 books. It's nice to be like going out on a high because, as I've mentioned, I think I mentioned earlier in this vlog, I think this is probably going to be the last Readathon that I do for a while, because going back to work won't be able to fuck up my sleep schedule the way I do for this. So I don't know when I'll do another one of these. This is going to be your last one for a little while, unless something drastic happens with work, which fingers crossed it doesn't. But yeah, it's nice to be going out on a high. Ratings wise as well, what have I had today? I've had 2 5-star reads today. So Shadow Black, obviously reread, 5 stars, loved it. And Castle of Tangled Magic, 5 stars, adored it. I've had 1 4-star, which was the story of Babushka, which, as I said, I might have rated generously, maybe. And then a couple of 3 stars here, and the Jumbies 3 stars as well. So we've got a range of 3 to 5 stars, which is pretty good. So decent quality and quantity. I've had pretty good time. Considering that it's this stack plus 2 more. That's kind of crazy, right? That's a big stack plus the 2 ebooks. I also want to say I'm surprised that my eyes are still intact because I've read 2 ebooks today, and ebooks make my eyes feel awful. But I've managed to read physically, read audibly, and read e-bibly. That's not a word. Physically, audibly, and with ebooks. I've done all of the formats, all of the everything. Yay! Yay me! It's been a good day. I am, however, now really, really tired. So I'm happy that the day's over. Surprisingly, I didn't have my midday flag period where I thought I was going out. I've been pretty strong all day. I'm only now getting to the kind of deliriously tired stage. If you participated, thank you so much. I hope you had a successful day as well. If you didn't participate and you've just been watching this for fun, then I hope you've watched this for fun. I hope you've had fun watching this, is what I mean to say there. I feel like I haven't vlogged much today other than when I've finished books, but I might come to edit this content and realise that's a lie, I don't know. But hopefully you've enjoyed what you've seen. Anyway, I've definitely had a good day myself, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that brings this to an end. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, give us a thumbs up. Chat to me down below, let me know if you participated, what you read, if you've read anything I read, etc, etc. And because I like this whole emoji thing, drop me a flower of some sort down there as well, just to let me know you got to the end, if you don't have time to leave any other sort of full comment. So yeah, that's that. Thank you very much, and good night!